Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're so happy you have joined us today. Today's video, Paul and I are going to share how we have made adjustments. We have rearranged things to be able to afford what has now become unaffordable to many of us. So we hope this video is encouraging, gives you some ideas, and just proves to be super helpful. So the first thing we want to talk about is health insurance. Paul and I are below the Medicare age. Paul will be eligible in several years, me a couple more several years. But until that time, we need health insurance. So what we have been doing for the past 6 years since Paul has retired, Paul and I have been purchasing our medical insurance through Paul's previous employer, which was a local town municipality. Unfortunately, since Paul has retired, this health insurance has increased $800 a month. Not a year, a month. So it was always high to begin with. But this last year, it took a leap even more. And Paul's pension has not changed. We thankfully have a YouTube income that comes in every month, but again, that fluctuates. So we needed to rethink our health insurance. For personal reasons, up until the end of 2023, this past year, we really didn't want to change insurances. But now we feel really good enough to be able to do that, so that's what we did. How did we do it? What we did is we went to New York State Health Marketplace, the health exchange. Now, every state has one of these. These are for people who are below the Medicare age, or maybe have a job that doesn't give you health insurance, or maybe you're self-employed. And basically, you go to your state's page, you put in what your projected income is for the coming year. I went above what Paul and I normally get only because I didn't want to owe money back to the government. And they will give you a lower cost on healthcare. Do your research. Read every plan. Some have high deductibles, some have low deductibles, some have dental, all different plans, all different deductibles. Feel comfortable. Call the exchange if you need to. Ask questions. We will be saving roughly about $700 a month. So that is amazing to us. I can't tell you what a relief that is to us. The healthcare we picked suited what we needed. It came with dental, and it was time for us to seriously make a change. So we're feeling pretty good about that. It's still expensive, but nothing compared to what we were paying. And the best part, the plan we picked, we don't have to change any of our doctors. None of them. They all accept the plan we picked, which was a big part of what our decision was on the plan we picked. There are options when it comes to healthcare to get a lower rate and actually be able to afford the unaffordable. Number 2, food, and specifically good quality, even organic food. Paul and I are not exclusively organic. I know a lot of people are. We're not exclusively organic. If we can get organic at a decent price, we buy it. Some things we are organic specific with, and that is carrots, celery, spices. We try to get lettuce if we can at a decent price. We don't do organic meat, though I know a lot of you do. The good thing about organics is every week there are sales on organic items. What you want to do is keep an eye out. When those organic foods that you love are on sale, buy in bulk and put them away. Prioritize your organic wants. That is exactly what we do with regular food that you purchase as well. We never wake up in the morning and say, hey, do you want hamburgers tonight? and go to the store, pick up ground beef, and pay $4.99 a pound for it. Never. How do we afford ground beef and not pay $4.99? When that ground beef goes on sale for $2.29, we will buy as much as we can, separate it into individual packages, and freeze it. The trick to buying unaffordable food right now is to wait for that food to go on sale, buy what you can, what you'll use in a timely fashion, and freeze it or put it in your pantry. Try not to food shop according to your appetite or your wants for that day. Look through your flyers, look at those sales, and then buy according to what is on sale that you know you'll use. Put it away, and you'll never have to pay the unaffordable for anything you want to eat. How do we afford unaffordable gifts? Gift giving to the norm has become exorbitant. When you see the amount of money people pay for Sweet 16 parties and weddings and graduation parties, it's like, wow. And you almost feel like you have to give a gift according to the party or the event you're attending. The majority of the gifts Paul and I give each other are mutual. We will do a token gift maybe for Christmas, a little something just so we have something to open. They're usually experiences that we both want and will benefit both of us. And that works out great. But when we go out of that realm, you have to start thinking about, how is your gift going to be perceived? Are people going to look at you as being cheap? Or are people going to look at this gift and say, wow, this is a beautiful gift? Let me give you some ideas. One of the greatest gifts I ever got for my wedding shower was a stack of thank you notes, and every single one of them had a stamp on it. So all I had to do was fill out the inside, address them, and mail them. I thought that was one of the most thoughtful gifts. Think about that for anyone. A bridal shower, a graduation party. Now, you could tell me, well, people don't send thank you notes anymore. Well, guess what? They should. And this will be a gentle encouragement for them to do so. But that's a great gift. For a newly married couple, how about a beautiful breakfast tray to serve breakfast in bed, and then fill it with like maybe pancake mix and a bottle of really nice syrup. Another great gift, a picnic basket. Fill it with reusable plastic cutlery, cups, plates, maybe a bottle of sparkling cider. There are so many ways to spend less and yet appear that you are giving so much more. Number 4, another major blow to the budget could be having to buy new appliances. Major appliances could be washer, could be dryer, refrigerator, but you need to stop and go slowly before you purchase any major appliance, any major purchase at all. You want to go slow. You want to make sure you are getting a sale price. You do your research, read reviews. How does this item hold up? What are people saying about this item 6 months down the line? And something you also have to consider when you purchase something like this. Think about, are they going to charge me for delivery costs? Are they going to charge me to take the old item away? How much is sales tax going to be on this item? What about tip for the delivery men who bring in and take out your item? When you are looking at a major appliance to replace, think scratch and dent. There are scratch and dent stores. There are scratch and dent areas of appliance stores. Our small freezer in the other room was a scratch and dent. We purchased from Amazon, and it came with a dent on the side. You can't see it. It's up against a wall. They gave us quite a bit of money off because of it. Now, we didn't intend for it to be damaged, but it was, and we called right away. But there are stores that sell scratch and dent products. When you are looking at a major purchase, these are all things that I want you to consider. And now here's the big question. How do you afford the unaffordable? First of all, do all the tips we just told you. And if it comes out to be a hefty price and you don't think it's worth it, can the item you have now be repaired? Does your wonderful refrigerator or stove just maybe need a part that a repairman can fix at a reasonable cost? Before you make a large purchase, make sure you can afford it, and then do your research, add up all your costs, and is there another alternative that might be cheaper? Number 5, how do we afford the unaffordable activities we love? Paul and I are avid live music lovers. You know that. Paul is a musician. He plays all kinds of guitars. We love to hear live bands. Concerts are expensive. How do we still enjoy what we love and do it affordably? As we told you in a previous video, we now became volunteer ushers at our local live music venue. So we get to go work for an hour and a half, mingling with the people who come in, enjoying the energy of a concert atmosphere, and then getting to watch the shows for free. I can't encourage volunteering enough. Are you an avid art lover? Check local galleries, check museums. Do they need some volunteers? It is a great way to do something you love. So many opportunities for us to volunteer our time and our talents and give back and also receive a little something in return. Number 6, how do we afford personal celebrations like our anniversary, birthdays, family birthdays, things like that? We know every year those special events come at the same time. So about a month ahead, what we do is start talking about what we'd like to eat, because we find cooking at home, a higher priced, good quality item, is 10 times better than eating out. And I know so many of you agree with that. So about a month ahead, start looking for what you know you would like for your birthday or your partner, your children, and then buy it. We keep an eye out for things like roasts or shrimp or steaks. And when they go on sale sometime during that month, we take them, we food saver them, and we put them in the freezer. Also, we'll look for fancy pickles on sale, or fancy olives, crackers, some great cheeses that will round out that meal and make it so special. And what you have to remember is make the preparation of the meal just as fun. Pour a glass of sparkling juice or whatever your favorite beverage is while you're cooking. Cook together, set the table. Make it a festive, wonderful occasion. Sit down to eat at your own rate. Take your time, make a fancy dessert. You can make any special event affordable and memorable by just being aware of when it's going to happen and preparing ahead of time with special foods, special music. There's so much you can do. Maybe some candlelight, so lovely, and it will make a very non-affordable restaurant meal very affordable at home when you prepare it. Number 7, another way we can afford things is by taking care of what we already have. Paul says to me all the time, a gentle touch saves money. And we have shared that saying with you before. I can be pretty rough on cell phone. And Paul is constantly telling me, Emmy, think of it as a tiny computer in your hand. Would you go in the other room and take your desktop computer and push it around, shove it around, throw it down? And I'm like, no, you're right. These higher priced items we own, our cell phone, our appliances, our automobiles, we need to treat them gently and respectfully so they last longer. We need to maintain them as well. Make sure you're getting your oil change in the recommended time. Drive the speed limit. There are so many ways to maintain what we have and to make it last so we don't have to go out and buy more of the unaffordable. Keep your cell phones away from washing machines and away from water and concrete patios. Treat them with care. And I think that allows us, when we do buy something of value and that has cost us more, to not have to buy them again. A gentle touch saves money. And finally, number 8, how do we afford the unaffordable? We prioritize. This is probably one of the biggest. You need to find out what is important to you. And we say this all the time. Everybody's journey is different. Your priorities will show you how to afford the unaffordable. What is important to you is going to be at the top of the list. Now, you may say gift giving, we don't give any. Celebration dinners, we don't do. So then you may take more of your money and put it into another one of these categories. Every frugal journey is different. These are our suggestions that we share with you to encourage, to motivate, and hopefully get you to save some money for yourself, for your priorities, and still live a wonderful, full life. Live below your means, or at least live within your budget. Now let's get into the kitchen and make a zero food waste meal. Have we got an amazing recipe using up leftovers for you today? First thing we are going to use is some of that leftover ham that you put in the freezer after Easter. Actually, you can use any kind of cooked meat, but ham is exceptional in this recipe. We're going to be making ham mashed potato patties. You have 1 cup of cubed ham, 1.5 cups of homemade mashed potatoes, cold. So leftover mashed potatoes. Do not use warm potatoes and do not use instant potatoes. It will not work. We've got 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs, or any kind of breadcrumbs, 1 egg. And then we're going to go back to our spice section. We're going to put in a little bit of garlic, a little bit of dill, some peppercorn, some onion powder, and some good mustard. And you're going to need a little extra panko for coating the patties. First thing that goes into our bowl is the cup of diced ham. I'm not going to lie, this is the 3rd time we are making this recipe. That's how much we loved it. Add the 1.5 cups of mashed potatoes, 1/4 cup of panko, 1 egg. We're going to season to taste. A little onion powder, just a drop of garlic powder, some dill, some pepper, a little bit of mustard, about a teaspoon of mustard, 1/2 teaspoon. Don't overdo the mustard because it can be overpowering. And now I'm going to add just about 1/4 cup or so, some Colby cheese. But you don't have to do this, but we love the taste with the little bit of cheese added. I will link the original recipe down below, as I always do. Now I'm going to take my 2 favorite kitchen utensils, my hands, and I am just going to mix this all together. And of course, my hands are washed and clean. Our ham and potato mixture is combined. I have about 3/4 cup of panko breading. Now remember what I told you about panko. It will not brown unless you add a little bit of oil. I'm adding a little extra virgin olive oil and just mixing it up. It's the weirdest thing with panko, but you need to add some kind of oil to this if you want it browned. Take about 1/3 cup or so, and I'm going to just form it into a patty. I'm going to put it in the panko, press it in, do the other side, and I'm going to place them on a baking mat that is on top of my baking sheet. So I am going to finish up with that. So these are all formed and they're ready to go into the oven. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I'll put them in for 15 minutes and then I'll carefully flip each one and cook them for about 15 minutes more. What's so great about these little guys is you can customize them. If you don't want to use meat, how about some finely chopped scallions or some finely chopped up cooked broccoli. So many things you can do with this. These cooked for 15 minutes at 400, and I'm just going to give them a flip. Okay, we're going to put them in for another 15 minutes, keeping the temperature at 400.
Now for my secret horseradish sauce for our ham and potato patty dinner. Our horseradish in our garden isn't ready yet. That's going to be picked in probably the fall, maybe late September. We purchased this horseradish when we were in Lancaster. This is delicious horseradish. So what else I'm going to do is take some sour cream, take a nice little dollop because it's the two of us, and I'm just going to proportion this. I'm just going to take some of the horseradish, take a nice scoop, a nice forkful. That looks good. And we just mix it till you get a nice sauce to go on top of those potato pancakes. They're going to be fantastic. Now I added a little bit more sour cream just to equal out, get a nice texture. So that's it. You just drizzle that on and it tastes absolutely delicious. Now this horseradish isn't super fiery hot. You can adjust it with how much horseradish you want to use.
These cooked for 30 minutes. Look at how crispy and delicious they came out so well. I'm going to cut into this just so you can hear it. Can you hear that crispy crunch? Look at this delicious goodness. We're going to take a little of Paul's special sauce here, give it a little drizzle. And when I tell you, these are so delicious, you will not be sorry giving this one a try. Today's question of the day: how do you afford the unaffordable? What have you done to be able to afford the things that have increased in price, but that you still want in your life? Please share that with us down below. It will not only encourage us, but our viewers as well. We thank you so much again for being here. We ask that you please give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to click on that notification bell and hit all videos so that every time we make a video, you will receive an alert and you can join us to watch. We ask you to be well. We ask you to be safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God greatly bless you.